You want
I'm
to
gonna try.
Michelle's gonna run it, yes, but I can cut the,
Headers
this
and
off
footers.
as we're getting ready, kind of a thing. So,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
I'm gonna try
or not. It's raw, baby.
just
Yeah. This is what happens when you go into season 2. We're starting season 2, ladies. Butterfly Bytes. It's coming off the cuff. We're ready to talk in 2026.
Yeah, it's been great for me hearing people come to me and say, where's season 2? Where's more episodes? So when people actually ask, even if it's just a small number of people, it makes me feel like we definitely should bring it back. So I'm happy that we're starting and kicking this off. And everybody's kind of like, their lives are a little different than they were like when we put a pause, right? So now we have like the space to do it. And I think that's important, right? Like just giving, that's why I stepped away, is I needed to honor my own like heart of like where I felt I couldn't give it the space I wanted, but now I can. So I'm ready.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, as soon as I slowed down, my entire house got sick for like all the flus and everything. So that was my break, was like, you know what? My body is now telling me 'tis time to slow down,
Yeah.
So
Indeed.
Yeah.
We have to take care. It's going to be a really exciting year. I know, for me, my birthday is in the beginning of the year. And so it's like you're coming off of Christmas and then, it's like, oh, it's my birthday, but do I get a Christmas gift or a birthday gift? Like, I don't know. And then does it all go into, our, what is it? Your not to-do lists, but your resolutions, right? I can't tie that all together. I'm like, so by the time January has ended, I'm like, okay, now 2026 is happening.
Yes. And then we had all the weird like weather, like weird, like apocalypse type storm. Like, yeah.
Like snow in Austin.
Well, not in California though. You guys have lovely weather all the time.
Well, we'll see what happens in fire season because of it. But it is quite a lovely 75 in the San Francisco Bay Area right now.
Oh,
and
nice.
Yeah, and there's everything about AI just all over the place here. So I thought today it's exploding, obviously. Just the amount of investment that's going into building the infrastructure for AI, it is crazy. Vibe coding is taking over the world. So many different things we can talk about. So I thought a way to ease us in is let's see what kind of passion projects you're working on right now. Where do you see the state of AI going? Just starting there. Damie, how about you?
Oh, me first. Okay. So my list of 3. So I have 3 main topics of things that I think are like front of mind for me with what's going on with AI right now. I literally was up at 4:00 in the morning vibe coding. So I think it is the crack. It is so, yeah. So I want to do a whole episode. One of the things I was thinking that somebody actually gave me the idea, maybe we could do it the next episode, pick somebody that is not a coder, like maybe one of you guys, and say like, let's go and like come up with an idea. And in the episode, how fast can you actually build something that's a prototype that's usable that you could demo? And, I think people that haven't explored it, there's like a lot. But the 3 main things that other than vibe coding that I think are super important. So healthcare, that's the industry. We talked about it last year at Day-to-Day Texas together, Chauncey, like, oh, it seems like that's emerging. Well, I feel like it's right there. So like ChatGPT came out with a health thing. There's like a lot of statistics that Gartner's coming out saying like therapy and people exploring their health issues is like a very common use case that people are doing. So there's a lot. And then I'm following people that are saying, yeah, to win healthcare, you've got to do more than the AI. It needs to be about the infrastructure and it needs to be about the safe and the clinical and evidence-based and all those sorts of things, which makes it exciting. But this particular person, I was reading one of their posts today, and they were saying there's a barrier to people like us that aren't in the healthcare industry, that we won't be able to make that leap because we're not the domain experts. And I challenge that, because at my job now, I'm working on a use case where I am not the domain expert, but I'm the AI expert, and the domain experts sit next to me. We work together. So I don't think you necessarily have to be a doctor in order to understand what a hospital needs in their operations. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity there. The next thing is adoption. So moving from the prototype to actually putting it into production. And that's the technical problem, but the people problem. How do you convince, if you're going into an organization and you're building an app for them or you're building a bot, how do you convince them that may be hesitant because they're nervous, that they don't trust the AI, or they've heard about hallucinations and all the AI slop, or them feeling threatened that the leadership just wants to get rid of their job, and this is one step towards that, and people feel like this visceral like threat to AI. So adoption is like, it's a total problem, and it's a people problem. And I know that you're passionate about that stuff, Chauncey. And then third, graph, right? So even in the projects that I'm looking at, you can only go so far with RAG. So pushing to the graph, all the semantics, all the context. I'm sure you heard about that a lot. That's all they ever talk about at Day-to-Day Texas, which is there. All those people that the people that, you know, that we all know, Juan Cicada, Jessica Talisman, except they've been pushing this for a long time. But as a graph enthusiast, I'm happy because I get maybe like more buy-in. I don't have to fight to explain why it's valuable to people as much anymore. But I think there's a lot of opportunity, but there's a lot of caution. And so I think that's where we are in AI, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't help when you see all the headlines of the layoffs because we're preparing for AI. Like that's great, guys, but you're really not helping, you know, the general community with adoption, with those scary, you know, news headlines out there. And I think since I was just at Day-to-Day Texas a couple weeks ago, from last year to this year, like you just mentioned RAG last year, I would have had no idea what the hell you were talking about. Like, are you talking about a new dance move? Like, I don't know. But the retrieval augmented generative AI, like now I use that. We are building products internally that connect everything using RAG, and it's really important with our healthcare and insurance clients and the financial industry. But because they have to retrieve internal data first and then use, you know, common data sources to generate whatever the agents need to do, right? So and even just building segments within their data structures, we're using AI to do that so that someone who doesn't know how to build a SQL query or build a segment can just say, I want to build a marketing audience of people who live in the New York City area, who have come to the site and looked at this particular portfolio of products, you know, build that segment for me. So yes. And it's really, to me, seeing that practical application of, yes, we have agentic and generative AI in our product. Everybody has it, right? But being able to build data segments with natural language, they're like basically Googling inside of their product, but it's using whatever model. That was what we did that was really smart, was using whatever model they have in-house and allowing them to connect to, you know, here's our prompt engineering, you know, everything's kind of, it's not containerized, but everything's in a package ready for you to use. Here's the logic, and we're going to connect it into our knowledge base as well for the product so that it understands what the product can do and where to go for the data. So those are the practical applications. I haven't done building a lot by myself because I've been working for work, but I'm seeing it actually put into practical use where I can understand all of the acronyms and, you know, everything that went on last year in Day-to-Day Texas. I was like, oh, okay, I'm using that now throughout my year. And so that's why I feel really good. If I didn't quite understand everything that was, you know, thrown at me a couple of weeks ago, I know it's all going to sink in, you know, this year. And that's what I mostly have gotten out of this, is like, I might not be ahead of the curve, but at least I'm hearing of things in the beginning and then seeing them put into practice and being able to jump in and help and understand and translate for the layperson, right? Yeah. And I think that's the value that I've gotten out of it. So I enjoy hearing of all of your crazy projects and things. So yeah.
Awesome. Amazing. You guys are, pardon the expression, but the data nerds for the day.
Somebody has called me that. Somebody did call me that at the client side. They were like, "Oh, you're a nerd." I was like, "Should I? Is that a good thing?" Because, you know, those of us that are like Gen X or whatever, like, nerd was not a cool thing. It was not cool. So maybe it's gotten cool now, but it was not.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, if they called you a nerd, it was like, no. I actually, what they called me was spaz. I was spaz, not nerd. Because, I mean, who would think?
I was hyper.
Energy. Yeah, energy. Yeah. I got this little swaggy hat at the Day-to-Day Texas. And I will
what does it say? What does it say? My old lady eyes, I can't read it.
Yeah.
Ever since I was young, you read it.
Ever since I was young, I wanted to build AI. What is it? AI agents. I'm reading it backwards because I have it mirrored. What is it? That
harmonized.
Oh, yeah. That harmonized, siloed data sets into a single source of truth. I was like, yes, I need that hat. But I wear this and I go pick up my, fifth grader at school and she's like, Mom, not the nerd hat. Come on. She like yanks it off of my head. I'm like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? We're in Austin. It is fully acceptable to wear a nerd hat to school.
Yeah. My son says I'm cringe and I tell him that's my middle name. I fully embrace it. I'm not worried. That is one thing that I was thinking too, like, as we were getting ready for this conversation, like, where have I grown and how have things changed? Because, Michelle and we started working together when I was like, just a little quiet voice. And now, like, as I mentioned to you guys in that text message the other day, I'm like full on getting into arguments with like executives at Anthropic and just let it go. So I'm tired. I am tired of trying to be somebody I'm not. I'm tired of being the fawn. Sure. I'm tired of trying to win approval. I'm tired of wondering if people like me. I'm just going to be me because it's exhausting trying to be the contained version. Indeed. I hate it. So I'm over it. So here it comes.
I think the older you get, the more you just kind of say, like, no, this is me. I'm going to own it. There's an Oscar Wilde quote about it, whatever. Like, it is true for a reason that you have to be you. So, yeah.
So all of that. And for me, you guys know, huge Grateful Dead head. And I, and this now because I talk about it now to your very point, Damie, that, I can't contain it anymore. And it's, most folks know who the Grateful Dead are now. Of course, we lost the amazing Bob Weir, the rhythm guitarist, one of the lead singers recently in January. You see, there was so much going on in January.
I saw that and I thought of you. I was like, oh, she's going to be sad. Well, I should have texted you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And, interesting to be in the epicenter, San Francisco, when it happened. And that's where the Grateful Dead happened, the Summer of Love, and a period of time through a lot of cultural change. And I think that's what's always fascinated me about the Grateful Dead was they had this commitment to sort of like co-creation and community and kindness. And at the same time that they were very committed to innovating and, doing amazing things with, one of the most natural human things in the world, singing songs to tell our stories, And so I come at these things a lot of times from the people point of view. And so so very sad, rest in peace, Bob Weir, but he has left a legacy with us. And one of the other things that happened for me with the Grateful Dead is it really spurred also my fascination with technology and technology's ability to bring people together, because I had the opportunity to land in an AOL forum and to see the tapers trading tapes digitally. And I thought, oh my God, because I was like too young to be a real deadhead following them around, and I thought, wow, this internet thing's going to be huge. It's one of our funny jokes. It has the ability to connect people across miles and throughout the whole world, and, an opportunity to bring this type of community sharing, and I think that's where we are with like vibe coding now and where AI is. I mean, we're at this huge intersection of humanity and technology. And, how do we preserve our humanity as AI takes off? So something I'm going to be doing and that I've gotten involved in is humane tech. And
I love that.
Yes. And I'm doing a hackathon next Friday where we're going to try and come up with some solutions, some AI solutions. They've created a benchmarking called the humanebench.ai that looks at, whether or not chat bots, right, or LLMs are providing more humane responses in the technology, and are we building with those types of principled systems, right? So their hypothesis is that, they think that to interact with humane tech, you'll feel cared for, you'll feel present, you'll feel fulfilled, and you'll feel connected. But how do you measure that? So they've come up with this benchmark, humanebench.ai. So we're going to hack on that a little bit. So
Ooh, I love it.
I'm at right now.
That's important, because all the benchmarks that I see are things like accuracy, context relevancy. They're very, very technical. And they're all like, did I retrieve the content that was correct? And I'm not in the epicenter like you are, so I'm not hearing, but I'm definitely not hearing that many people care at all about measuring the impact on the human. So kudos to you. And I can't wait to hear what you guys are going to do with that. And hackathon, you said next Friday?
Next Friday.
Friday the 13th. Lucky.
The 13th. That's a good day. It's my favorite day.
And then it's Valentine's.
Awesome. Yeah, it's important, especially with both of us, both Chauncey and I both mentioned healthcare, right? It's absolutely critical in those type of use cases. I guess only if you're going to do anything patient facing. Maybe if you're the doctor and you're just writing notes. Like I had a situation, I mentioned it in LinkedIn in a comment. I know somebody, and I won't say who it is because I don't want to, divulge their private information, but they had two different doctors. They have an illness where they see a lot of doctors. Two different doctors prescribed two different medicines. And during the visit, they disclosed to the doctors in their paperwork, I'm on these meds, right? But is the doctor looking? Probably not. So apparently there was a contraindication that taking those two pills together could give you a heart attack or a stroke.
Oh, okay.
And so this person had been taking it for a month before they knew. And the only reason they knew is they called in to refill the prescription, and some algorithm in the pharmacy noticed that is not right. And I was like, okay, thank God for the algorithm, but the physician could absolutely use a tool that is doing that checking, because that person could have gotten injured and the human made a mistake. There was a human error. So the care and the empathy and the tone and all that are super important, but also the practitioners, whoever the providers, like they need to be able to use things. I'm hearing, like I was on a client side, I was sitting at the bar, talking to people, because now if I don't have my kids around me, I'm just talking to strangers, and they all start talking about like what they do. And this lady was talking about transcribing notes, like you're doing something with a patient and you're writing down, and then the human error aspect of the, writing things messy or whatever. It's like, that's a perfect use case for an agent. Totally.
She like whips out her phone and she's like, hey, and she says it every time, like it's the first time, but she's like, I'm going to use a transcription app so that I don't miss anything. Is that cool? Like she gets consent. I'm like, and she's like pressing record as she's asking me. I'm like, yes, that's fine. Yes, please. Yeah. So, and she's been doing that for 2 years. So, like, doctors need to use these tools for sure. And if you're within one ecosystem, like if you stay within one pharmacy, I know they have checks and that's when the pharmacist asks you, but I'm sure that your friend had like potentially different pharmacies. And
yes,
right. Like, and so with electronic medical records, like this was supposed to be for that reason. Like they got rid of the paper files to avoid exact situations like this. So this is just, have all the pharmacies connected for the greater good. I know. Right? Like ignore competition. Like,
but one of the things that I would love to hear you champion a little bit is accountability, Michelle. So when you're in those conversations and you're talking about all the humane stuff, I love that. But I'm seeing so many things where there's no accountability. They're like, oh, it's a machine. Oh, oops. It's like, no, there has to be an accountability. If we're going to use AI to do things, especially in the healthcare industry, some human somewhere needs to be held accountable for the actions. It's not right to just put a disclaimer on the bottom saying like, it can make mistakes. Not good enough.
No, not good enough. And, unfortunately, things finally will, rise, I think, to attention when we see more and more like lawsuits that come out against the big tech providers, right? Where, I mean, we've seen this sadly already with mental health apps, or not even the mental health app, just a chat bot that has sort of overtaken, let's say, a child's mental health, and then they commit suicide, right? So where do we attach the risk? Is it to the builder of the technology, And I think one of the things that Humane Bench in particular can do is to help like corporations have a system and a benchmark so that they can analyze what types of enterprise risk they may be running into. I mean, think about it. If you've got a chatbot in there for any of your customer success, that is going to be talking to people. And so if you have a way to measure that, then you have a way to quantify risk. And then you start to see these corporations maybe beginning to take some accountability. So I definitely am championing that for sure.
So let me ask you guys what you think about where it makes the most sense for mental health. So I am seeing like one angle is like I could use a chatbot and it's going to help me. It's going to tell me like how to deal with these feelings, or it's just going to be there. It's going to be present, right? Yeah. Another is I'm a doctor or I'm a clinician and I am still doing the human to human, but I'm using AI to guide me and to assist me. So there's a very hard line of like this human is in the middle no matter what. I don't know how you guys feel about like that line. I guess it depends upon the industry and the use case, right? Of how much you could offload to the AI to do.
Yeah. It's always a use case driven, idea at the beginning. And then, I mean, everything we're pitching has a human in the loop, at least for qualification, right? That validation process. But at some point it does just become an agent. And we're even seeing, we just did a whole thing on agentic bots and identifying what they were, and the nice ones say like, hey, I'm Google. Hey, I'm Anthropic. Hey, this is me. Those are fine. There is a whole slew of headless Chrome bots and we don't know what those are, right? And they are potentially okay shopping apps or whatever. And, maybe they just have developers that didn't care to add something in the user agent string that was nice, but it's over 50% of traffic to most sites now.
Is chat.
It's some kind of right, like bot, chat something. I don't know. I'm scraping your prices. I'm looking at your catalog. Like Google's always there, so you have like Google, Apple, Bing, Baidu, like all the normal ones. And now you have Anthropic and ChatGPT, all of those coming in. So those are identified. Those are only about 10% of the bot traffic. There's this whole slew of totally unidentified, I don't know what you are. Yeah. And I don't know if they're malicious. We don't know, and so there's all this tracking now that we're doing to try and figure out like,
they're malicious.
Here they, like
that's my guess,
right?
Yeah.
And then,
they're deceptive.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's a pass it to your IT team. Like you allow them or don't, but here they are. Right. Like you do what you want to do with them. But hey, your traffic is half of what you think it is, and some of it could be real though, because we're starting to see agents as shoppers, right? And agents as transactional agents that have been given license by a person. Like, hey, I mean, you saw that Google ads during the holidays, probably with all the celebrities, like, hey, I'm looking for an outfit for New Year's Eve, can you shop at blah, 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 and this and that and find me the best price? And it's an agent that goes out. I mean, I have a Google Assistant on my phone. She answers my phone. It's actually a dude. I need to figure out how to change that because I don't want a dude answering my phone. But, I would like a British lady, please. That's who I would like answering.
So would any of you give agency to a thing to buy things without your oversight?
I definitely was thinking about it. Only because it's useful. It's useful.
It's
That's
time.
The only reason. But
yeah,
you know how crazy I am about privacy and stuff. That's what prevents me from taking advantage of some of the great technology.
Well, wasn't there a use case? This is even before generative AI with Alexa, where there was like, I don't know, a little girl or something was watching a cartoon and it said like, buy this dollhouse, and it just kept buying it. And so some like $1,000 dollhouse shows up and the parents are like, what happened? And then they look and like, oh, well, Alexa heard a commercial. I'm like, that seems.
Yeah,
I mean, like a robot that runs into the mirror because it doesn't understand it's a mirror. It just sees the vision. Like, you know, I know somebody that drives a autonomous vehicle, and I have been in their vehicle and they literally touch nothing. The only thing they do is they talk to it and it drives for them, and they say it's perfect. I'm like, oh, brave.
I have taken so many Waymos, y'all. I can almost not get a person driving an Uber in Central Austin.
What is a Waymo? I don't know. I live in the woods. What is that?
So it's a separate company that Google bought that they're autonomous vehicles, and Uber has a partnership with them. So they're all in the Uber pool, right? So you order an Uber in Central Austin, I could not get a Waymo.
Is it like the Johnny Cab? Is it like Johnny Cab from Total Recall? No. I mean, you remember in Total Recall in the movie, there was an autonomous car, but they have a little robot guy that's like, well,
no, there's no robot guy. There's just a wheel moving on its own.
Really?
And there's a giant screen. I've taken video like 4 times now because it's just so funny. Every time you get in one, you're like, it's so weird. But you're sitting in the back seat. There's nobody in the front seat. The car's doing its thing, and it puts on the blinkers and does all the nice things. And it has this giant screen in the back. And there's all these like things on it where you can change the music, change the, air conditioning, change whatever, control your thing. There's safety things where you can immediately say, pull over to the side of the road, stop the vehicle. Like, so you have those kind of controls, but you can't turn the steering wheel, right? So it just does its thing. But they had to take them all out of circulation during the ice storm because they didn't want to obviously take that risk. Yeah. Right? But I got a person driving me home from day-to-day Texas in an Uber, and he had his Tesla on autopilot, auto drive, and he's sitting in the seat and he's not touching it, and he's like talking with his hands, and the car's doing everything. I'm like, dude, come on.
I haven't had that experience yet.
He's like, I hope you don't mind. I have it on auto drive. I'm like, yeah, I would like to not take the freeway right now because it's iced over. So can you override that and please continue going straight? He was like, oh yeah, sure, sorry. Like,
yeah, well, I get afraid as a woman when I travel. I get afraid being in an Uber and it tells you like record during the ride, and I'm like, record my murder? Like, no, that's what help is that? So they can find the person. And I feel afraid as a woman, especially at night. Like, am I going to have somebody that's going to assault me or something? So
that's the best part of a Waymo. Let me tell you.
I can see that. I could see that being a selling
point.
The
first time I took a Waymo, that was my immediate realization. I was like, I didn't even realize how much fear I'd been carrying with me getting into a vehicle. It was like it erased that for the first time. And I was like, whoa, and let me tell you, the kids love the Waymo. They absolutely love to be able to choose their music. I mean, I'm like fine with silence for a little bit. It is kind of nice to be in a car and it's like silent and just watching it.
Do people let
dogs too? They're like nice Jaguars with like a huge like glass, so you feel like you're in a glass luxury bubble. I'm like, this is fine.
Totally.
Do people let their children ride in it, like to go to this party or go to this place? Like, how young do people feel comfortable putting their kid in there and just sending them? Could you send them to school if they're like 7? Are people doing that?
I don't know. My
I wonder if it's regulated
to go with me when I was going, but I mean, as an adult, I don't think you can have an Uber account under a certain age.
Yeah.
So.
It's all through Uber. It's all controlled through Uber.
Yeah.
Huh. I'll have to try that next time I go to like one of those major cities that has that. I hadn't even noticed. I'll look for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's way more fun.
Way more fun. Yeah, but my daughter used to go to the data meetup with me because I caught my Uber from the restaurant, like after having dinner with them. And she was like, ooh, and she's looking in the car and she's like playing with the buttons. And she's like, I kind of want to go with you now. I'm like, you just want to play with the car. You do not actually want to go to a data meetup at a bar.
Oh, well, the bar.
Yeah,
If it wasn't the bar, maybe she's very, advanced
Very
mentally.
curious. Yeah.
Maybe she'd like it. She wouldn't glaze over and be like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
My son is about the same age as your daughter, and he's now standing over my shoulder trying to educate me on how to use the internet. And I'm like, okay, I appreciate it, but I think I got it. But like, he's very confident and very curious, and genetics. But yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's
See,
natural for them.
So there you go. There's an example of AI for good. It removes the safety risk of assault and women feeling unsafe, and that's like legit. It's like a legit thing.
Legit.
Mm-hmm.
For real.
And you feel like you're in RoboCop, so there's that too.
It's Total Recall. Total Recall.
Sorry.
You know what? Actually, maybe RoboCop does have that. I don't know. It might have that.
Yeah, or iRobot. There's so many of them. They're all coming true. It's like,
what do you think is going to happen when we all can license Disney personalities to create our own content? And is that going to show up on Disney Plus?
I never thought about that. Do they have the rights to the creation?
They have negotiated this with I believe OpenAI. Yeah.
I thought they had sold the rights to create, like if I want to make a Little Mermaid Sora video, I could. I didn't ever think about if I make myself the Little Mermaid, that now they could use that character in, you know what they would do? They would do it anyway. And they would say like Jim Altman did with Scarlett Johansson. Oh, it's just kind of the same. It's like totally the same. We ripped it off, but like, they like change one thing, change your eye color.
Any resemblance to people is not, that like paragraph.
Not intentional, coincidental.
I would watch you guys on a Disney Plus streaming. If there was a show of you two, I would watch it.
Likewise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And we could be like the little band in the Little Mermaid, like the fish at the bottom in the band. I would do that. I would be in that.
I went straight to K-pop, but
You would, well, K-pop Demon Hunters. Yeah. Haven't had enough of that. I've got my derpy right next to me here. So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But they do have, I know that Matthew McConaughey, ScarJo, and I can't remember who else, they've all started copywriting, patent, whatever legal action to say,
protecting
their own entity, right? So that people can't borrow.
It's going to be interesting, right?
I think that's what started our little season 2 conversation was, right? People assuming the identity. It's identity theft at some point.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it really is actually, right?
And it's so real now. Even with like, I won't mention the scandal, but we all know what it is without me saying it. This political scandal where like things are being released. Everybody's saying like, oh, there's a video now or there's an image now that was released. Yeah. How do we even know it's real? You don't.
Exactly.
How good is it? And there's a whole subreddit. Is this AI where people will post stuff and then they're zooming in and they're looking for like a little detail like that's wiggled.
Like a pattern.
You guys probably saw the like Ariana Grande thing where she had like an extra finger and people were saying like, oh, it's AI because she had an extra finger. They just photoshopped it weird or something. So yeah, you don't the blurring of the line of like what you can trust and what's real and what isn't is getting very, very blurry.
Yeah.
Very blurry.
And is that a good thing or is that not a good thing?
I think it's like anything. It's like copywriting or footnoting. It's like citing your sources, right? And I think that that's what should be required. Like, it's fine if people can enjoy whatever they want to put out there, but tell us what it is, right? This is generated by whatever. And all of your content that you were putting out said Sora, on the bottom of it. And I think
but I didn't choose that. That's watermarked automatically. Right. I think if you pay for certain features, you can remove that. Right. I think. Right. Because I've seen people post stuff on TikTok that is clearly AI and there's no watermark. So they either used a different tool or they pay for a service. Right. So, but I think you hit on something very similar to what you were saying earlier about the bots scraping the site. It's the transparency.
Mhm.
It's the lack of transparency. As long as you're transparent, it's less. I'm not saying that's the, everybody's bought in as long as you say that it's AI, but the transparency matters.
You're not trying to be deceptive, right? And I think that's the whole thing. Like, be entertaining, be, captivating in whatever way, be shocking, whatever you're trying to do, but be transparent about how you're doing it. And I think that is less evil.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're all on the let's not be evil.
Let's not be evil. Yes.
Do no evil.
Although being a villain would be kind of cool. Which Disney villain would you be?
Ursula.
Wow.
Ursula.
She's my favorite, and she sings so good, and she's so powerful. And she's the best one. Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? Which one would you guys think?
What villain would you be?
I mean, probably oh my gosh, what is her name from the Dalmatians? Is that Disney?
Cruella the villain.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. You look good in a fur, girl. I think, take one.
It's your Halloween costume this year.
Yeah.
I know. I already know what I'll do for Halloween next year.
Right? Yeah.
What about you, Chauncey? Which one did you pick?
I mean, I don't want to go Maleficent, but
love Maleficent.
I mean, I'm more like Cheshire Cat or something along those lines. Right?
Yes.
Mad Hatter. I don't know if Mad Hatter's a villain, but
he's a Mad Hatter.
I'm feeling Alice in Wonderland for some reason.
Yeah.
I
like Rapunzel's, like the evil Mother Gothel. Yeah. I don't like her character, but I love her songs and the actress that sings her. Just like the vocal, like the control.
You're going for the vocals.
I think that's what I like, is that they can sing better than me. And if I could be somebody, I don't want to be evil. I just want their talent.
You want to have the voice. I love that.
Totally.
That makes perfect sense.
Just want power. Yeah. No.
Power.
Some power. Extrasensory power. No. I mean, AI sort of gives us power.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
I mean, that's the crazy part. And something, because I'm always thinking about the Grateful Dead tarot, just people interested. No, but I think about, what is an original idea within the world of AI now, right? Like, who gets to copyright an original idea? Like Grateful Dead, they certainly have Grateful Dead songs, but at the same time, many of those songs are old cowboy songs, or, gospel, or rock and roll, or jazz, right? And they even saw themselves more as the channelers of these stories, right? And they considered the audience part of the vibe that helped create the experience, And so, I mean, I think the music industry is really going to be an interesting one to watch as this continues to develop. A lot of there's this company, it's called Clay Vision, and they've already done some deals with like Universal Music Group, and it's some type of generative tool to create music. But there's this licensing that has to be done on the background with Universal Music Group. I mean, even this tarot deck had to be licensed through Warner Music Group, through the Grateful Dead. So
you're saying like the sounds, not just the lyrics, but generating the sounds? Because I hadn't thought about that. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. So, AI gives us power to create things.
Well, I know we're coming up on time. I'm looking at the time. I think my closing thoughts are, I'm super excited we're doing the podcast again. I'm really happy about that. And also, I love that we are consistently pushing the humanity, team human, the ethical aspects of it. And we're thinking about things that maybe other people are not. Like, there needs to be a voice. And that's how I sleep at night. How are you in AI? It's going to be evil. Well, I am in the trenches, so I'm able to affect change and to be the one in the meeting that says, have you thought about how this is going to affect the humans in the group? So I love that we all care about that.
I do too.
Amazing. Well, I just got a phone call that my daughter's locked out of the house, so I need to go run and do that.
and life. Life
Yes.
happens.
Life continues. Yes.
All right, ladies. Great job. Love you. Looking forward to season 2. Let us know what you want to hear about. We are here for it.
Yay.
All right. Thanks.
Yay.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, ladies. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.